Mindfulness has been popularized in the West by a guy called Dr. John Kabat-Zinn. I think he started these mindfulness exercises in 1979, so it's been a while. But in the last 10 years or so, it became very, very popular. And so what is mindfulness meditation or mindfulness practice? It's the art of being in the present moment, right now, at all time, accepting the now for what it is, with openness and curiosity, and with as little judgment as possible. And neuroscientists have found that the brain structures, the neural connections, and in fact even new neurons were being generated by long-term meditators. So the Dalai Lama himself sponsored a group of Tibetan monks to come to the US to lie down in an fMRI machine. I don't know if you've seen pictures of those. These are huge machines that you lie down in. And the neuroscientists created images of those Tibetan monks who've been meditating for 20,000 hours in their lifespan. And what they found is that the brain structures of those monks are significantly different from yours and mine. And all of that for one reason, their long-term meditation. But even what's more interesting is that those same scientists found that even after 8 weeks of daily meditation, the brain structures of regular people, like you and me, started to change. So you don't need to meditate for 20,000 hours and sit somewhere in a Tibetan temple for a lifetime, but you can start seeing those benefits even within a period of 8 weeks. So what I'd like to invite you to do now is to do a short 1-minute mindfulness meditation practice using a technique that I've learned 2 weeks ago from a Japanese Buddhist monk at Echo Temple on top of Mount Koya, south of Osaka in Japan. Please sit comfortably in your chairs, but erect. Your hands comfortably on your lap or wherever else it's comfortable for you. When I say go, close your eyes, please. And then concentrate fully and solely on your breathing. Breathe in and out through your nose and try and focus entirely on the sensation that that breathing is creating, the airflow in and out through your nostrils, your abdomen, your chest, and try and focus on nothing else but your breathing. Thoughts will come and go through your minds. That's okay and natural. Don't try to resist them, forcefully trying to remove them. Accept them, let them pass, and then gently bring your attention back to your breathing. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, go for 1 minute. Okay, the 1 minute is up. Please gently bring your attention back to the front. And I want to take just 1 minute to ask some of you, what was your experience like? Particularly the extent to which you were able to maintain that focus on your breathing only, or you had other thoughts coming in, flowing in and out of your minds. Anyone would like to share?
I found that as I got closer to the end of the 1 minute, my breathing got slower and slower. So that was one observation. Second is that I could hear more of the sounds from the air conditioner and those kinds of stuff. Background sounds, I noticed it was more. And then I kept worrying about my iPhone not buzzing that I was near that 1 minute.
Thank you. So the breathing got slower as the minute progressed. Also, the sounds from the air conditioning switching on became more apparent and more present. And then the awareness of and the concern that the cell phone will start buzzing during the meditation. These are the experiences. One more? Anyone? Okay. So what does this meditation do to our brain? Scientists very recently, actually as late as 2013-14, found that this ability to focus on objects of our choosing, namely our breathing, the noises around, but to focus on one particular item for an extended period of time, and by that I mean maybe 30 minutes or so, changes the structure of the brain and makes those structures of the prefrontal cortex more dominant over the emotional drives that we experience at all times. So, of course, this will also help us with our willpower and situations in which we want to control those emotions and we want our rational thinking to dominate. So, in the last 12 years or so, neuroscientists found that there are 6 areas of our brain that are marked here 1 to 6, that when we are not focused on a particular task, like solving a Sudoku, reading a book, writing a report, whatever it might be, when we are not focused on a particular task, those 6 areas light up and start firing intensely. Whereas when we start focusing on a task, whatever it might be, those areas quiet down, and then the other regions of our brain start firing, like the prefrontal cortex that we mentioned before. So what are those areas doing at times when we are not concentrating on a particular mental task? And scientists found that there are 4 default mode activities, as they call them, that the brain is engaged in when we are not focused on some specific task. And these are, first of all, situational assessment. So we cast judgment on everything that's happening around us and the people that are happening around us as the first priority when we're not focusing on a specific thing. So for example, we sit in a meeting and the meeting is run by someone that is really lost control of the meeting, and what is this guy Jack doing? He doesn't know how to run his meetings, we're not achieving, we're wasting our time, and the room is hot anyway. Those kinds of judgments. And typically they are negative. They are negative because the brain is pre-wired, hardwired, to protect ourselves and elevate ourselves relative to everything that's around us. So those judgments of the default mode activity, the situational assessment, are typically negative. And of course they're useless. They're completely unproductive. The second one is time traveling. So we either ruminate about the past, what happened today, we wish it didn't happen this way, I could have, I should have, or time traveling to the future, and trying to hypothesize what might happen, running different scenarios in our mind. And again, most of those activities are completely useless. They're not productive at all, but they require a lot of mental energy. The third one is self-image cultivation, and we spoke about this. So we'd like to think of ourselves as I am the person who always knows everything about anything, or always has to win an argument, or always have to get the best deal, or whatever it might be. And that self-image that we have of ourselves, we have to cultivate it. Again, we are pre-wired that way. So we spend a lot of time cultivating our self-image, and if reality doesn't behave according to our expectations of our self-image, we get either irritated, frustrated, or demotivated, and sometimes even depressed. And the last one is social referencing. It's very important to us, to different extents, depending on personality, what the people around us, especially those important to us, think of us, and think of what we do, and what we say, and how we dress, and how we carry ourselves, and all these kinds of things. So we spend time in a social referencing activity, again, when we're not focused on a specific task, when the brain engages in these default mode activities. And the benefits of mindfulness meditation is, over time, these default mode activities quieten down. And again, researchers have been able to see in Tibetan monks or long-term meditators in general that their default mode activities are quieter than in regular non-meditators. So the intervention here is very simple. 30 minutes a day, that's all you need to do. And in fact, researchers say that even 2 or 3 minutes, or even 5 minutes before you get to an important meeting, or before you get to something important to you, even 5 minutes, or when you want to take a break, 5 minutes would also help. But the prerequisite, like the minimum to start seeing a sustainable effect in your brain, is 30 minutes a day. And after 8 weeks of doing this, you yourself will start noticing differences in how you react to your environment. In the organizational setting, it would take a little more determination and courage, but one thing you can do is start lunchtime meditation sessions in your company. Select a room dedicated once a week to lunchtime meditation or more. Bring a mindfulness meditation instructor or guide, and bring your team in and invite them to join. And at first, you might have only 2 or 3 people interested, but the word will go around, and you'll start seeing this benefit on your team. And then if you want to take it even a step further, start every meeting with a 2-minute mindfulness meditation. Just 2-minute quiet, everyone sitting down, doing what we've just done here, and then starting your meeting. And again, you will see the benefit, measurable, noticeable. If you do a survey of your team before and after 2 months of doing this, you will start seeing the difference.